Are you about to read the book of Exodus for the first time? Well, I want to give you a quick summary, a quick overview, so that you could look at the major themes and it can help you process the information along the way. And if you don't get it all the first time, that's okay. What you're going to find that as you go through the Bible, you're going to come back to the book of Exodus time and time again. There's a lot of big things that happen in this book, a lot of connections that you're going to make later on. So don't worry if you don't get all of it now, just focus on the major themes, and over time, you're going to give a lot more importance to the details. So Exodus comes about as a second book after the book of Genesis. We have now arrived with the Israelites in Egypt under slavery. And this book is more than just the Ten Commandments. It's a story about setting up a second covenant and a plan of salvation. So you can divide this book into two different parts. The first one is the plan of salvation, which is in chapters 1 through 18. And then the second one would be the Mosaic covenant, which would be from chapter 19 all the way to the end of the book. In the first part, you see a big display of God's power and then also Pharaoh's hardened heart, thus bringing about the 10 plagues. And you also see the display of the Jewish Passover, how it came about and how it functioned. This Passover scene is very important to Christianity, so you're going to be coming back to this because it has a huge meaning. But for now, we move forward. From that, you get the traveling, all that happens throughout the wilderness, and then they arrive to Mount Sinai, which would be the second part of the book where they set up the Mosaic covenant with God. This is where the Ten Commandments parts comes in, but there's so much more that happens. And as you're reading this, I also want you to pay attention to Aaron, who's with Moses all the time, and see his function with Moses, because Aaron plays a big role in the way that the priests have an order all the way through the book of the Bible. So under this covenant, God does his part and says that he promises that he will make Israel his people, a people set apart. He will protect them. But the condition to this covenant is that Israel must follow his laws. They must live in his way, reflecting his holiness to other nations. So the heart of the covenant is the Ten Commandments in chapter 20. Then the additional laws comes in chapter 21 through chapter 23. They're additional laws, or you call it the book of the rest of the covenant. Then in chapter 24, you get the blood sprinkled on the altar as a binding contract of the covenant. And then God sets up a way for his presence to be with them with the tabernacle. In this book, you also get the golden calf, God's name being Yahweh, and the Shekinah in the tabernacle. And also keep in mind that Moses is a mediator between the people and God. So now you have the basic information before we start the third book,